Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to RSF1's Tier 2 division. We are here for round number 14 of the season. It is the Belgium Grand Prix. Look at it. The so-called Drivers' Circuit. It's a track which many of the real-life drivers like, and also league racers like. You always get some good league racing. You need to be confident around here. There are plenty of turns to catch you out at this wonderful circuit just near the Ardennes Forest, close to the track. It is obviously had some changes over the years, like La Source hairpin doesn't have that metal barrier on the outside. Some would say that's a good thing, others like me, being old-fashioned, would say, oh, it's ruined it. It's more safer, I guess. It's one of those things. You got a mahoosive runoff area on the exit. But anyway, this is still a lovely track. This is still a lovely circuit to race at, and we're going to get a lovely race. Everything is going to be lovely. I'm by myself tonight for the time being. Of course, you know me as RSF1 Rubens, also known as Michael. Primus is unfortunately unwell today. Hopefully, though, F2 can provide a good race for him to watch when he is okay. I know the feeling. It's fine. He'll be okay. He just needs some rest, so on. It gets us from time to time, so no worries. So, let's get ourselves underway. I'm just going to get the stream up. Hopefully there are no issues tonight with everything as we are loading into the Grand Prix. Are we going to see any wet weather? Is the Ardennes Forest going to chuck us any rain our way? Would be quite interesting if it did. Let's see. It's taken a while to load up, actually. There we are. Let's see what we are going to have. I also need to try and find my track map for the corner names, because I really should know. I only know like a fair few around here, actually. So, bear with me. Oh, it's clear blue. Well, it's dry anyway. It might not be clear blue skies. I can't really tell from this angle, but there you go. So here we are. We're at Spa, round 14 of the season, and we are starting to get into the groove. Oh, Lukey, you ruined it. It's dry for out, apparently. Oh, brilliant. Wow. This will be a good race. It's fine. Be more excited in the rain. It'll be excited anyway. Doesn't matter. But yeah, round 14 of the season. This is where we start. You know, we all start talking about who's potentially going to win the tiers, really. I mean, there's still a fair few races to go. We've got Monza next week, Singapore, Japan, all that kind of stuff. So, still got some great tracks ahead of us. Still plenty of points available. But this is where, you know, we've got to start the conversation. You know, who's in the running? Who's, you know, constructors and drivers, really. And Tier 2 is kind of turning into a three-horse race, it seems, especially with a notable absentee here tonight as well. It's really between Muddy Biscuit, Lukey and Milan. Now, last week in Hungary, for those that watched, I hope you did, Lukey took a very well-deserved victory, taking Milan, actually. They were both fighting for the victory. Taking Milan on the penultimate, or was it the last lap? No, it was the last lap, on the first corner, right round the outside of him. They only beat Muddy Biscuit by a bit, because Muddy Biscuit was 4th, but it was points. And it means, going into this race, that Lukey is now 25 points behind Muddy Biscuit going into this race. And Muddy Biscuit has said to me personally, he doesn't like this track. He does not expect to be on the podium interview at the end of this race. So, could this be the opening for Lukey to come in? Or can Milan fight back and get his first win of the season? Because he's yet to do so after being so close in the Ferrari. Or can anybody else spring a surprise? This is a lovely thing about F2. There's so many drivers here that can win races, that can, you know, turn up week in, week out, and they're challenged near the front. May not be consistent, but you go from track to track, and this is where it comes up. First guy out on a lap, I think it's a Red Bull of Steffi, so let's ride on board with him as he begins his lap of this Belgium circuit, and I said a driver's circuit, which a lot of people in Leeds kind of like this circuit. It is one of those good ones. As it comes through the RSF, and you see what I mean about the runoff. Back in the day, 1998, 1999, there used to be a big steel barrier on the outside of that corner. Now there's a huge runoff area. Steffi getting a nice little slipstream on the back of Draco as he heads down into the corner. I do not remember. Right, left chicane. And you're going to try and carry the speed as much as you can on the exit. And now into... Again, I really should know these corner names. I only know a few. Here's the corner with no name, ironically. This is the one I remember, which has no name. The left-hander. And now this is the one. You're going to have massive concentration in this corner as you chuck the car in. Sun, take it in 8th if you want to be very brave. But obviously Steffi had to drop down into 7th gear. And then this, another right and left. A lot of flowing corners around this circuit of Spa. And then into the final corner, just keeps it on the track limits. You can be really caught out there. And now on the run up to Blanchimont, it's not really a corner. This left-hander coming up here. This one is Blanchimont. It's flat out these days. It's barely a corner. And then into the bus stop chicane. Just a simple right and left, very tight though. And then onto the exit of the corner, looking for around about 42s, and it is a 42.4, so a decent lap from Steffi Weffi-Gamer in the Red Bull, and he's in a pretty good run of form. Two third place finishes in the last 2 races. So he's a wizard in the Alpha, comes up behind in a 42.6, Muddy Biscuit at 43.1 in his first lap. We got Breezy in the lone Renault tonight, although he has invalidated on his first run. So he will go again, make sure they get to the wide exit. So begin his lap. Where's the Ferrari of Milan? Now Milan, again, as I said, needs to come back in this race. Was so close to winning last time out. Can potentially do it, and he does a 42.3. Gets a 10th quicker than Steffi in the Rebels. So good stuff for Milan straight up. Although Magic Mark goes a couple of hundredths quicker with a 42.3, and then Hudson gets in there as well, so already very close times here in Q1, this very early stage. Welcome back Shrimper. Shrimper's back racing again. Welcome back, my friend, in the McLaren. Today reserving for, I can't think who it is in the McLaren now, with Muddy Biscuit. But yeah, hopefully he does well today. Sporting a lovely orange helmet as it gets a massive slide for Eau Rouge. Now remember, it's Radion actually at the top of the hill, for those out there that know the meme. But yeah, got a massive slide. Managed to catch it very nicely. So already putting on the skills for show. It's Shrimper as he goes through the middle sector now. Lukey's first attempt is an invalidation. One shot's heading on a lap as well. Is Breezy on a second one? Yes, he is. He's just coming out this last corner here. You do not want to run too far wide on the exit of that corner, because that barrier sticks out and that can catch out many of people. It has caught me out in the past as well, so got to be very careful. Don't be too greedy as you come onto this long straight. Then into the bus stop chicane. You can see he's run out of ERS actually before he's reached the bus stop, and that's another thing around here. Even in qualifying, you might want to save a bit of ERS on your qualifying lap. A 42.8 from Breezy there is a decent lap to begin with. We're looking at the top 15 drivers. So with 17 tonight, we're looking at 2 to be removed from the first session. Good evening to Asteroid. Yes, I was just going to mention you, Asteroid. We have a new driver joining our ranks in RSF1, FTR Asteroid, in the Ferrari. Hopefully you do well in your first race. Just have a good first impression, Asteroid. That's all my advice to you. Obviously don't necessarily be quick, just, you know, good first impression. That's all we require. I'm sure you'll be perfectly fine. Rapid one shot in the Mercedes, reserving for Dangerous Dan. This is the reason why I'm saying it's kind of a 3-horse race, because Dangerous Dan is 4th in the championship. He's not here tonight, so once again like last week, he's going to drop. I don't know where Dangerous Dan is, actually. Funny enough, there's a one shot gets right in there, and a 42.4. Goes very close to the top of the times there. Yeah, you can see very, very close. Attempts separating the top 5 at the moment, so very good stuff. Is Lukey going to join them? No, he tops them by 0.3 of a second. A 42 flat from Lukey in the Racing Point. He's determined here for this week. Obviously, winner last time out in Hungary. And straight to the top of the times in Q1. But it is only Q1. But so far, so good for him. Right, in terms of this championship, I'm just going to go over this right now, as I got the time. Muddy Biscuit leads the way on 196 points. Lukey is second on 171. Milan, as I mentioned, is still in there. He's on 119 points, though. So a bit further back, as Evo has a massive slide through turn 5, I believe that is, at the top of the hill. So wants to be gathering things together. Steffi Weffy Game is next on 90 points. He still has an outside chance as well himself, but he needs to keep on going. Look out for sparks. Look out for sparks because why, guys? Is there a reason? I'm on board with him now, so his lag, he seems fine with me. Oh, he's just run far too wide in the quarter with no name. Very easy to do. Is that Centurion? That Centurion's just improved. I want a 41-0 on TT. RSC, he's quick. I see, that's right. Thank you very much, guys, in the chat there. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on him. Yeah, Dan has missed the last couple of races, including tonight. He's on 85 points, dropping away a little bit. Hopefully he's okay, of course. Then a bit of a gap to Breezy on 59 points in the Renault. Just ahead of Josh on 56. Then you got Wizard and Hudson on 55 points each. Magic Marcus on 43, just a point ahead of Drake on 42. Mega Centurion on 36 and Hardy on 24. As for the constructors, McLaren are just edging out Racing Point by 12 points. McLaren 242. Hey, there we go. We've just been kicked from the lobby. Fantastic. Great start. Right, gonna have to bear with me, guys. Sometimes this happens. Don't know why. Says I lost connection with Xbox Live, as you can see, but clearly I'm still online. But there you go. Right, I'm going to have to reset the game by the looks of this. Why does this always happen on a Sunday? Oh well, bear with me. Apologies for that. There should be no problem. We'll just jump back in. I don't know why this happens on a Sunday. Primus has this issue sometimes. Right, should be able to catch the last moments of Q1 if possible. Okay, no worries, I can just jump straight back in. Fingers crossed it doesn't happen again. Normally it only happens once. Touch wood, so all should be good. Yes, so as I was saying, McLaren leading on 242, Racing Point on 230. A gap back to Alfa Romeo on 178. They are just ahead of Red Bull on 150. Ferrari on 129, AlphaTauri on 108. Mercedes on 85, Williams just ahead of Renault on 70, Renault on 69, and Haas on 58. So there's your championship standings for F2 at the moment. And we are back in, so... Alright, let's gather ourselves once again. Still got 5 minutes left of Q1 to go, so let's jump back on. It's still very close, apart from the 3/10 gap that Lukey has at the top. Just looking at the clouds briefly. I was told it was dry throughout, but it looks a little bit overcast at the top. He's about to start a lap. Little Sparks is on a slow one at the moment. I think got Muddy Biscuit on an out lap. Championship leader going into this. And he's heading just along this straight up to Blanchimont. Yeah, left-hander through here is Blanchimont. Can be very, very tricky in the rain, but the dry is pretty simple. And I think he might be on a little bit of improvement actually, Muddy Biscuit, so we'll keep on board of him. It's going to be in the 42s, and it is a 42.4, so he goes right in there with the rest of that very tightly packed group. What is that? That's a 10th separating 2nd to 9th at the moment, so very close stuff. Great things to begin with. We just got Draco and the Williams yet to set a lap. He's busy getting out the way of the Renault behind, of Breezy, who's also on an out lap. They're just having their final runs, and this is the problem with Belgium, because it's so long. You're not going to get a lot of runs in qualifying. You've really got to manage this perfectly when you do it. Like Q3, you're really only going to get 2 runs, you know, on fresh tyres, unless you'll just make it. But again, I think you can only fit in about 2. So again, you've got to manage this in qualifying. Space, you know, between other drivers shouldn't really be a problem, but never know. So let's ride on board with Draco. Needs to get in the 42s, I'd imagine. Bit of a lock up into turn 1, but all is good. Up the turn in nicely. Now here he comes up to the famous Eau Rouge, which is left and right, and then Radion at the top of the hill. Nicely through there. The key really is just to not move the steering wheel as much as possible. Gets a little bit of slipstream from Asteroid in the Ferrari, and then get the car turned in nicely. Carry the speed through best you can. Watch it on the exit, run too far wide, and it's a good opening to the lap so far. Remember, he was on pole last time out in Hungary. Unfortunately, the race did not come to him, even though he did have the pace to be up there with the front runners, but that happens sometimes. I'm sure he has moved on perfectly through Pouan. Down to 7th gear just to get the turn in right. Nicely done. And this next right and left, similar to the chicane at the opening lap, to carry the speed as much as you can. Don't run too far wide on this exit. Go up here. In this last corner before the straight, you can see how the barrier sticks out on the left-hand side. Be very careful. Milan gets into the 41s there, so good lap from Milan. 41.9 already. Is very good, but let's see what Draco can do. Again, needs to get in 42s, I think, to be safe. Looks a solid lap right now. He's got Sparks ahead of him. Might have put him off a little bit, but he's going to run to the line, and it's a 42.2, which should put him safe. Well, yeah, I'd imagine that is safe, actually. Shrimper is 3/10 up. That'll only get him into the 43s, though. Will he have enough fuel and ERS to go again? It's a 43.4. Stay 17th. Hardy as well is also in danger, as is Asteroid right on the bubble. Hardy in the Alpha Tauri just running through. Everyone just turns it in nicely. A little bit of a lift, but that's just the car lifting it. I think he was completely flat out on the throttle. Ripping one shot goes to 3rd on a 42.1, so that 3/10 gap that Lukey had is all of a sudden disappeared, as Magic Mark goes to a 41.9. So it's all closing up once again, which is great to see. But let's see what Hardy can do. Asteroid as well is on the lap. Sees a Wizard. He can't be safe either, as is Grunty. That's how close it is. I mean, top 10 in Q2 is going to be ridiculous if it stays this close. We've got to focus on Q1 to begin with. Here comes Hardy. Is he going to join the 42 club? He does. Goes to 7th. That puts Asteroid out at the moment, but he's up on his lap by half a second. Shrimper is just coming to the end of the middle sector, just on the exit this corner. Well, he's 7/10 down, so Shrimper, I don't think, unless he does an almighty last sector, I think is going to be out. So I'll keep it on Asteroid for the time being. Half a second would just be enough. You got Wizard possibly improving, and the 2 ahead of him. Asteroid goes 11th. Breezy is in the pit, so is he in danger from Grunty and Caesar Wizard, who are both on laps? Grunty will be the first one, currently 15th. This is ridiculously close, considering how long a lap Belgium is. It's ridiculous, as Grunty improves to 42.3. Yeah, you can see how close it is. That's ridiculous. Caesar Wizard goes 5th. Breezy's out in the Renault. Blimey, look how close. That is half a second around Belgium. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Blimey. That is really good. Really, really good. Shame for Shrimper though. 17th. Obviously got the race ahead as well. And Breezy missing out by 0.2 of a second, but blimey. 10th separating the top 3. Another 10th separating a group of about 4 or 5. Don't worry about it, Shrimper. You got the race ahead of you, mate. I know your race pace is good, so yeah, but wow. Wow, wow, wow. Half a second there. The top 15, unfortunately, Breezy and Shrimper out in the first run. Is that rain I see, or is that just my eyes deceiving me? I was told it was dry. I can see flicks of rain just past the leaderboard. Yeah. Again, I was told it was dry. I mean, if it's raining in Q2 and Q3, it's kind of a shame, really, considering how close that is. But let's see. Let's see what we can have in Q2. Oh, it is. It is raining, and in fact, actually, everyone's on dry tyres. So in this situation, get out the garage. Drive. What are you doing checking out Inters? It's still fine for dries. Go. Set a lap. Still got DRS, right? Well, here we go. Yeah, Lukey's straight out. On the... Was that Grunty out first? No, Lukey's out first. Let's see. You can see you can select dry tyres, but is it wet enough for the dries yet? Lukey's got to be very careful. He's going to be the first one to approach Eau Rouge and Radion. And this is treacherous in the rain. Got to ease off, surely. He does. I think it's... Yeah, DRS is still there. Yeah, so... And there's a few coming out in intermediates as well. I think they made a little bit of a mistake here. Unless... Oh no, Lukey got no turn in at all. In this... So you can see it's just started to rain, but you can still set a lap on dry tyres if you... Be very careful. I don't know, actually. As you can see, I think Grunty is turning as much as he can. The car just won't turn in. He's been connected by... Who was that? That was Milan. It's just collected him. So, it's all getting a bit... I said about lack of space, but What's happening with Grunty? There's a Red Bull off as well. I said space shouldn't be a problem, but because of obviously... Oh, DRS disabled. So yeah, actually it is intermediate tyres. They were too late, because obviously how long the track is. So now you've got to be on intermediate tyres. I don't know who's first on them. They're all so bunched together. But they just missed the window of getting a lap on dry tyres out of it. So it's definitely intermediates. You can see the spray now. So I think, is that Williams ahead? I think within one shot is going to be the first one. This changes everything. This... Ooh, now you've really got to be careful setting a lap on this. Conditions are only going to get worse. Hardy is actually going to be the first one, but he's still on dries. There's no way. There's no point anymore being on dry tyres. There's a... Actually, there's a McLaren ahead. It's actually, it's Muddy Biscuit. It's going to be the first to arrive. Eau Rouge and Ready on an intermediate tyres on a damp track. Gets a big slide. Catches it again, as you can see. Just about manages to get it through. Two more cars going through there. I think, yeah, up in one shot is going to have a problem with Hardy in front of him. He's on dry still. And now you just got to get intermediates on now. Thing is, Hardy's on a lap, but it's almost no point that, yeah, he's got out the way. Good from Hardy. Realised the situation as ripping one shot. And those inters goes through. A change of situation in this qualifying. And you can see how the track changes. I mean, P1 was normally like a gear or two down. Well, not even two, it's like a gear down. You just drop it down to 7 and chuck the car in. Now you've got to be very, very cautious. Especially in a bit being damp, maybe, especially if it's a dry race. They're not going to have a wet setup on either, so... Muddy very, very cautious, runs it just about enough wide. You just got Hardy and Caesar Wizards on dry tyres, but they'll be back into the pit, surely. Because DRS is gone, as you saw a big slide of Muddy Biscuit. That Blanchimont now becomes more deadly than what it was before. Bit of a lock-up for Muddy. Also, the time is going to change completely as well. We were in the 41s. Now a 54.2 is the early benchmark. We'll see. Draco beats it by 4/10, 53.8. Where does one shot go? One shot goes 54.5. We'll see as they cross the line and see what happens. Hardy, yeah, he's back into the pits on his dries. There's an Alfa Romeo coming round of Centurion. He's going to be 53s. Yeah, 53.555. So good stuff from Centurion. Times are just going to adapt now as Steffi beats it by half a second. Almost touching the 52s. Yeah, completely changes the face of this qualifying session. Those that were quick might see themselves getting caught out by this. As Sparks 53.7. And you've got the Ferrari of Asteroid, I think, next. It's coming through the bus stop chicane. But over the curbs, got away with it. It's got no ERS either. And it's going to be... Well, it's in the 55s. I think you'll have to go in the net by the looks of it. As you've got a Williams, I think Draco coming across again. That would have been Magic Mark starting his lap. Evo just coming through the bus stop now. Ferrari of Milan just crossing the lap. Evo gets a massive tank slap on the exit. Goes 7th, 54.6. Who's that on the grass? Way out. That was an Alfa Romeo just behind. Who's coming to the end of the lap? You've got a Mercedes, I think, of Ron Shop. He's going back in. You can see how narrow the pit lane is as well, and the entrance is ridiculous. One of the other things you've got to be careful of. Oh, Grunty's dropped it. Top of Radion. Right at the top there. And that's Grunty taking no further part in qualifying. What a shame from him. Must have just lost it through the middle of Eau Rouge. I think Centurion is going to be next to arrive on there. Eau Rouge and Radion becomes just so treacherous in these conditions. It's just me, the rain seems to be coming down a little bit more heavy as well. Centurion comes through, there's a Ferrari coming through, it's Milan. I know it's Asteroid. Asteroid potentially on a better lap. Needs to get, I'd say, maybe 53s. Potentially 54s. 54.4, so he does improve by a second to go 6th. It's alright, Grunty, we all do it. Not a problem at all, as Lukey goes 3rd, Hudson goes 4th. Milan is just coming around now at the end of his lap. Might go top, no he doesn't, 53.4. Time's all flying in now. Ladies of Evo goes for a 2nd lap. Caesar Wizard as well. What's Muddy doing? The last remaining McLaren, he's several seconds down. He's going back into the pits for another set of tyres potentially. Magic Mask backed off. Hardy's on another lap as well. How's Caesar Wizard getting on? He's just gone through top of Eau Rouge and Radion. Remember, no DRS at this point. See if he drops it down to none ERS. No, keeps it in hot lap. And even in the rain, I think you do have to save ERS a little bit. Little Sparks is way out the way on the inside of that corner. Into the corner with no name, which they really need to name at some point. Gets a massive slide on the exit. How does he take Pooh on now? Turn the car in, 7th gear. Yeah, he's committed. Holds it. Big slide through the middle, but it's alright. There's a car off to the right. Oh, there's a car way onto the wall. Where is that? That's Evo might be. It is. Evo on the exit of Pouon is okay. Got plenty of time as well. All getting a bit close for comfort in the last sector actually. See how Caesar Wizard get on. That rain is really coming down. Almost. No, we're not touching the full wets just yet, but it's definitely increased since it began. Big lock up for Caesar. Who's that's just gone up? Might have been Little Sparks to 7th. Where does Caesar Wizard go? To 5th. Times are still relatively close actually with the rain, which is good. 3 tenths now, separating the top 5. We've got just under 5 minutes to go. And this is kind of the same as last week actually, because we had an intermediate qualifying in Q2, which meant people could start on dry tyres or whatever compound they would like. Obviously, I don't know the race at the moment. I was told dry throughout for Lukey. So either he wasn't telling the truth or he's been called out as well by it, but definitely shaking things up. One shot gets a big slide out of the chicane. Now down into Lecombe. Might be Lecombe, that right hand up. And it gets out of the way nicely. I need to take Pooh on. Actually, could go down to 6th just for getting the turn in. Track seems to be getting a lot wetter, especially around this part of the track. I mean, I would love it in the next game if, like, you came to a track like this and it was raining at, like, this part of the circuit, but you got to the start-finish straight and it's dry. That'd be a lovely situation to have, rather than be, you know, raining all the way round. If you keep people on their toes. So one shot has to take Blanchimon, trying to keep the car as steady as possible. He does. I think Hardy's just gone up to 7th. Here comes one shot. Oh, and that is a harsh one, but it was all 4 wheels off. Only improved by a little bit, but stays 12th. And does that invalidate the next lap? It does. So, yes, I am talking about Cody's, but you know, I still keep in hope that they're alright. Evo's damaged his wing from somewhere. And he's now under big pressure. In fact, I don't think he's... No, I think Evo's done because he's got damage from somewhere. And he's not going to make it back in the pits. So Evo's done. So the other person yet to settle up at the moment is Magic Mark. Currently. Got Draco in 10th and you got Asteroid in 11th at the moment, although all on laps. We've got just over 2 minutes to go, so potentially the last laps for everyone that wants to improve. AlphaTauri just coming round. Is that Hardy or is that Little Sparks? Little Sparks is starting a lap. Racing Point of Lukey is on another improvement, or he's just down in middle sector. Doesn't need to improve because I think he's safe, but wants extra practice on these tyres. We'll go into Q3 and it's a 53.0 to go quickest so far this Q2. Yeah, Evo is done unfortunately. 13th at best. Yeah, Magic Mark gets on. Through the corner with No Name. Hardy's retired from 7th. That's a bit of a risk. Might get away with it as Magic Mark really had to ease off through Puon. It's definitely getting a lot worse. Yeah, Daniel Ricciardo. He did a very good race actually, Daniel Ricciardo, in the Portuguese Grand Prix earlier. Obviously any spoilers for anyone that hasn't watched it, but it was alright Grand Prix. Yeah, had its moments. It's not like completely up there, but it was alright. The Magic Mark now. Coming through Blanchimon. Keep the car steady as possible. Nicely done. Then into the bus stop chicane, which has changed so much over the years. It's ridiculous. He comes out of it now. Looks pretty good actually. This could be challenging the top, and it goes 53.0. So he's definitely safe. Evo's out. Asteroid is out. Then you got One Shot 13th. Little Sparks in 11th. And Muddy Biscuit in 10th. Where is Muddy Biscuit? He is just going for Puon now. So he's in a bit of trouble, as is Sparks. Well, Sparks is out. Sparks has even had an off somewhere, so Sparks is done in 11th. So Muddy Biscuit will be the first to go over the line, and then it'll be Whip and Run Shot. Luke pops it into the 52s. Muddy Biscuit's in trouble. He's 4 tenths down. He might get away with it. It's all down to Rip and One Shot. He's only 3 tenths up. But if One Shot can pull off a great last sector, then Muddy Biscuit will be out. So it's all down to Rip and One Shot as he goes through. Oh no! And he's out! And he rides the wall. Oh, tried to take too much speed through Blanchimon, and that's how easy you can lose it. And he starts to do a bit of wall riding on the exit. 13th for One Shot, 14th for Evo. Muddy Biscuit goes through by less than 1/10 of a second to Little Sparks. So a bit of pressure for Muddy, but he scrapes through into the top 10. Little Sparks 11th, then Asteroid in 12th, and obviously you got Grunty who crashed earlier. Start P15. But you still got people on laps. Caesar Wizard goes through the place where One Shot crashed. A much better lap. He's half a second up on his current time. Might be going provisional pole position. Well, top of Q2 anyway. And he does it by 1/1000th of a second to Lukey. Bragging rights. Tops the session by 1/1000th. Wow. Well, on this it's exactly the same time. We'll see when he gets the leaderboard, but there we have it. There is your top 10 through into Q3. Little Sparks misses out by a 10th. Asteroid in 12th. Both Mercedes 13th and 14th, and Gunty 15th place. Here's 1/1000ths. Yeah, that's what the leaderboard says. Yeah, 900ths of a second between Muddy Biscuit and Little Sparks there. And then 4/10ths covering the top 7. So despite the rain, despite it being Belgium, we still have a very close field. And this is what we love about F2 in RSF1, is how close and competitive it is. This is what we strive to have, to try and have it as competitive as possible. Can't always be right, but it is, in the most part, we got it perfectly. So very, very good stuff from these guys in F2. Yep, decent debut Asteroid. Obviously you get to watch Q3 now, as well as everyone else here, who is going to grab pole position. Ah, that is fantastic news, Shrimper. That is brilliant, brilliant to hear. If you want to put that in RSF1 Discord, then feel free. But that is brilliant, brilliant news. So yeah, very good stuff. Right, into Q3. Who is going to get pole position? Pole position predictions in the chat, if you want. We got both Alfa Romeos. You've got both Williams. You've got 2 Red Bulls. You've got a McLaren, a Racing Point, and a Ferrari in the mix in this top 10. Intermediates once again. So, yeah, here we go. So, this is another thing as well. Some people might have used 2 sets of tyres in Q2, and they would only have 1 set of fresh intermediates left for this battle in Q3, because they only get 3 throughout the whole of the qualifying session. Yeah, most definitely is a positive, Shrimper. Definitely agree. So, yeah, very good stuff. Right, everyone is out to begin. And it's the 2 Alfa Romeos that's going to begin the Q3 session. Mega Centurion and Caesar Wizard. Would have my stats available, but I should have written them down. To jump off the stream a little bit, so bear with me one moment. I go to my stats, which have been lovingly updated from Hippo. So again, thank you very much, Hippo. You are doing a good job as usual. So pole positions at the moment in F2, Lukey and Breezy both have 3 apiece. Dangerous Dan has 2, Draco has 2, and Steffi has 1. So we could potentially have a first pole position of the season by someone here. Let me just think. So yeah, Draco's has had 2. He was in pole last time out in Hungary. Similar conditions to this, actually. Right, back on the stream now. We ride on board with Mega Centurion through Eau Rouge, top of Radium. Just see his teammate in the background. There he is, top of the hill. As we head down towards the right and left at the end of the straight. The Ardennes Forest on the left-hand side as we turn in. Back in the olden days, like in the 50s, 60s, you turn left at the top of that hill. and went through this long country road past houses, which was strange to think about as well. Scary to think about, you know, in the 50s, the 60s, especially when safety wasn't really there. Makes Centurion nicely through Pro 1. The rate is definitely intensified since start of Q2. We're not pushing on full wets at the moment, but definitely intermediates. Nicely through into the final 2 corners. Ease off the throttle a little bit before we run on the straight. You can see the ERS draining that green bar. When Bundle was a wee child. I was born in 1991, so it was way before my time. Yeah, 1991 was yeah, this track in Belgium was far different than what it is now. Jesus. Here comes Centurion. I think sees a Wizard behind. He's going quicker. 52.7 from Centurion. 52.9 from Wizard. So 52.7 from Centurion beats his teammate. Anybody else crossing the line? Hudson invalidates his first lap. Muddy goes third, a second off the 2 Alfa Romeos. Draco goes ahead just behind. Racing Point, Lukey. How's he getting on? Invalidated is what he's getting on. Hardy has a massive moment as I join him, as he makes his run way to the bus stop chicane, goes through it, get the traction, short shift on your way out, and goes to 5th. Red Bull of Steffi, who's done well these last 2 races. Can he get to the front of the field? 53.0, 3/10 off pole. It's not bad. Magic Mark invalidated, so he's going again. And that's it so far. Milan went back to the pits. The rest invalidated. How is... Oh, Mega Studios had a massive off somewhere. Front wing off. I missed that, but front wing suggests he's had a massive off and he's lucky to continue, really. But he's okay. His teammate, meantime, Wizard, is 1 or 2 corners through the middle sector. He's only just a bit down. Only an Alfa Romeo 1-2 at the moment. Only just ahead of Draco. Oh! Don't know why Caesar Wizard did that. Went off track and it's invalidated him. So we'll be back in the pits once again. How's Hudson getting on? Invalidated his first run. He's on a clean lap now. Went up past Blanchimont into the bus stop. Runs it a little bit deep through the first part. Not going to cost him a little bit. Then goes 5th, just behind. Well, I'll say just behind his teammate. Muddy Biscuit splits the Red Bulls into 5th. 53.3 from Muddy. There's... yeah, Centurion is no front way. Lukey invalidated again. Just stays 10th, so he'll be back into the pits once again. Oh no, he's going for... no, he's going for a second lap on the same tyres. Okay, that's fine. Hardy... nothing from Hardy. Steffi 4/10 up, but invalidated and power slides his way into the pit, literally. He's lucky to get away with that, actually. Clobbers the wall. But it's fine. Okay. Got away with that. Magic Mark, get to set a lap. Where does he go? He's been doing pretty well so far. 53.2 goes ahead of Muddy Biscuit by 200ths. Pops into 5th for the Williams. Right. So keep on board with Lukey. Bit of pressure. Validated his first 2 runs. See how he does the third one. And you can see this right-hander just so bumpy on the braking and the turning as well. He's got to be so patient. Corner with no name. Don't run it too far wide on the exit. Go on down a couple of gears just to get the confidence turning. Can anybody stop this Alfa Romeo front row at the moment? It's very close to these front 4. As, oh, Lukey got caught on the curbs a little bit. which you do not want to do in these conditions because the car just doesn't like it at all. 22.4 middle sector. Don't run it too far wide on that curb. And through Blanchimont, how confident is he? Eased off a little bit. He's got a little bit of VRS left, which is good. I'll stop chicane. Bit of a lock up. Gets it stopped nicely. Short shift on the exit. And again, bit of a slide on the exit. Where does it put him? 5th. Ahead of his title rival, Muddy, in 7th. Very nice from him. Hardy improves to go 8th. Mark's on another lap, but down. Is he going to have enough time? Got ERS, but I don't think he has fuel. No, he doesn't. Will he get back out in time is the question. Milan's just coming up now nicely through Eau Rouge and Radion. Through the first sector. Very good. Middle sector is such a long part of the track at Belgium. Really got to... It's normally the difficulty of setting up doing a setup round here, because obviously you want the low drag for, you know, turn 1 up through Eau Rouge, Radion, and you got the massive, well, straight technically through Blanchimont to the bus stop, but you've got this middle sector as well. The only thing is, if you put a lot of aero on to maximize the middle sector, you have to nail the middle sector every time, otherwise you're just going to get caught on the straight. It's nice for Milan. Seems controlled. Eased off a little bit. And he doesn't have a lot of VRS, so he's going to run out before the bus stop, and that can cost you on the run up to the line. He's just going to run out now. So he's got far less power. Got enough time to go again if he wants to, if he needs to. This looks a pretty solid lap, really high gear to minimize the traction, and it goes 6th. 53.1. Hardy starts another lap. Doesn't just come in round, got a minute to go. Everyone is out on track. Where is Muddy? He's going to make it as... Oh, is Magic Mark going to make that? 50 seconds, and he's just coming through Pouon. That's... not sure. Oh, Hardy's dropped it. Top of Radion. Are we going to reach it with Hudson? That's a shame for Hardy. Crashed it the same place that Grunty has done. And Caesar Wizard takes pole away from his teammate by 0.03 of a second. Wizard puts it on pole. For the time being, can his teammate take it back? His teammate's on a slow lap, but there goes the Red Bull of Steffi, who is 2/10 up and could challenge the Alfa Romeos to a pole. Comes out the final corner. This looks pretty good. Is he going to challenge it? It does, by 0.2 of a second at 52.4. But both Alphas have enough time to go again, and that's exactly what they're doing. Mark has dropped it last corner, I think. I don't know how he's done that. But there's his dot. That's not in the pit lane. That's on the front straight for Mark. I don't know if I can see it on board of Lukey. Yeah, there it is. He must have just caught it on the last chicane. Here comes Lukey anyway, and he goes 4th. So 4th at best for Lukey. Milan in the Ferrari's just coming up through the last corner now. Really slow. Minimize the traction. Goes up to 5th. Just ahead of Draco. We still got Hudson. Then Caesar Wizard. Then Muddy Biscuit next. Currently as Red Bull on pole. Can Hudson join his teammate on the front row, or can he overtake him? That's a pretty good lap actually. run to the line. Centurion has, I think, lost it at the edge of poo, and as is, oh no, Centurion has lost it through Blanchimon, actually. You can see on board with Draco, there he is. He must have lost it there. Money Biscuit, last corner. Stays 9th. 9th for Money Biscuit. Where does Draco go? He goes first. Takes pole again. Has he taken pole again? No, Steffi Weffy is on another lap. In the Red Bull, so Draco, his moment might be snatched away as Steffi gets a massive power slide. Is he going to do it? I don't think he did. He got second. He definitely improved, but how close did he get to? That slide out the last corner might have cost him 7 thousandths of a second. Oof. Wow, Draco takes pole for the second week only just. Wow. Yes, Eyes the best, you will, right? Wow, Draco on pole, Steffi Weffy Gamer in second. Sees the Wizard just ahead of Centurion. Then you got Hudson in the other Red Bull 5th. Lukey 6th, just ahead of Milan. The Magic Mark in 8th. Money Biscuit 9th. And Hardy 10th place. Very, very close. Great qualifying from F2 there. See if Draco would want a word. Here he is. Alright, include your audio please, Draco. You there? There you go, included your audio. Well, hello again. Pole again. Great stuff. Narrowly 7 thousandths of a second ahead of Steffi Weffy Gamer. Oh, that was close. You're breathing a sigh of relief there. Well, you say a surprise. Obviously, you took pole last time out. Very similar conditions. Oh, they can't hear you apparently. Hang on. That's my end. Hang on. Be right back, guys. Just need to reset the stream.